Good morning, Hulacorn hoopers and new hoopers, and good afternoon or good evening to whoever is watching, whenever they may be watching. Welcome to this week's mobile hoop class with Hulacorn. We are continuing from last week's class. This is number 7. Well, it's not really a continuation from last week. So last week we touched a little bit on what you would do once you get the hoop off your body. So the basics are a lasso and passing the hoop around your body. It is basics of off body. Although it extends a lot further than that, I will still continue to do more tutorials on off body tricks. This week though, we are going to touch on the weave, which is also a very commonly used trick with hoopers in their flow. It's easy, it's simple, and it helps you think when you when you don't know what trick you want to do next. So I will touch on the forward weave, the side weave, the reverse weave, the 3-beat weave. There's a couple of variations to it, so you can really play around with it, and you can use it to your advantage in your in-between tricks. It's not quite a transition, but you can call it a transition if you like. And then I will show you a couple of ways of using it from the lasso and from passing around the body. So let's get into it. Okay, so the basic forward weave in normal speed looks like that. And you can obviously go as fast or as slow. It's really entirely up to you. Hopefully we don't have too many cars today. So this is the forward weave, and what I'm doing is once you have the hoop in your hand over here, like that. Your palm is facing up, your fingers are facing out and wrapping over, your thumb goes over, and you go forward. Try and keep the hoop as straight as possible in front of you, as in your midline as possible when you're obviously doing your weave. And then you take it over to the other side, cross your body, back up again, into the middle, other side of your body, and back again. And that's a forward weave. So the trick to a forward weave is to try and keep your shoulder as still as possible. Believe it or not, I have actually injured my shoulder doing it. When I first started, I was going a bit crazy, and I was like, yeah, weaving all over the place. No, try and keep your shoulder as still as possible. Your elbow is the one that you want to get moving. Your elbow and your wrist is the motion in this move. So you can see your elbow moves a little bit side to side. And the trick as well with your hand is not to have too tight a grip. You don't want to hold your hoop so that you can feel your knuckles are turning white. What I try and do is just have a very loose grip, not even holding my thumb, actually just lightly wrapping around it, and it just gives the hoop a little bit more movement and allows you to play a little bit more. And it also does make quite a big difference when you want to turn into a reverse weave, which I'll show you. Just moving it so that it goes onto your thumb, basically. We'll still get into that. So from your forward weave, you need to practice your side weave. So it's a case of stepping to the side, keeping your arm exactly the same, and you can actually see a little bit better how exaggerated certainly my elbow movement is. And you want to try and keep it on a straight plane there as well. So just turn around from the front. It looks like that. Forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards and backwards. Always trying to keep the top, your chest, your shoulder as still as possible. Right, so that is the forwards and backwards weave. Obviously, always try and practice it on both hands. For me, it is a little bit difficult with my left hand. I have had an injury, and it's just not really it's not really recovering, so it's just not meant for me to hoop with my left hand. Although I do practice as much as I can, so I can get some tricks correct, but you will see that I mostly work with my right hand. So always practice on your other side, even if you don't get it right at first, no matter how silly it looks. It just helps when cars don't go by. It just helps to develop both sides equally. One thing I did notice, even with your waist hooping, always, always, always practice in both directions, because I didn't for about the first 6 months of my hooping. I just went in one direction, and I could actually see the difference in the way that my stomach muscles were busy forming, which is not cool. Not for aesthetics, but it throws your back out. It will create an injury in you eventually. So try and hoop with both hands, as difficult as what it may be. Just give it a go. So left hand weave, and then you just step to the side. Yeah, the sideways one is where I have the most difficulty with, but practice anyway. Okay, so that is the normal forwards and sideways weave. Then you have your 3-beat weave, which is getting an extra loop in on either side when you're doing it. So normal weave, 3-beat weave. So it's just taking an extra beat on either side. And what I'm doing there is moving it from hand position to thumb position. So you will grab it as it comes to the side. You want to let go of your hand and let it rest on your thumb, and then have some momentum. So it will sit on your thumb like that. I just want to try and hold it as still as possible. So once again, you're weaving, beat, 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 and you're doing the same motion. You're opening up your hand, letting it roll on your thumb over here, and on the other side you're opening up your hand and letting it roll on your hand, not on your thumb. So it's just open, 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 and that is a 3-beat weave. Do practice just doing it on your thumb, and believe it or not, your thumb muscles do get quite a good workout, and you do need to work your thumb muscles out to be able to use your thumb in a variety of moves. So always just practice when you're doing your 3-beat weaves. Do it for a little bit, and then just practice on the side for as much as what you can. And then the reverse weave. Okay, so that one is pretty much the same principle. You're going forwards. With the forward weave, your thumb is leading. So your thumb is taking control and showing your hoop where to go. With a backwards weave, or with a reverse weave, it's your pinky which is leading the way, which is a little bit more uncomfortable, but once you get into the flow of it, it's pretty easy. So you're leading with your pinky, up, over, pinky forward, up, over, pinky forward, and it looks like that in real time. And how you can combine the two is doing an around the world move. So thumb roll, thumb roll, thumb roll, and so you go around. So when I'm facing you, it's the reverse weave, and then I thumb roll into the forward weave, thumb roll into a backwards weave. And those are the different types of weaves. Okay, so how to use those, or how to get into those, there's a variety of different ways. So I'll show you a couple of mine from the lift-offs that we've learnt earlier in the series. So you get the hoop going just a little bit, lift up. This one I might need to extend the extended tutorial on, but it's basically bringing it around, under, tossing it over, and then you're into your weave. So what that is let me see if I can slow it down for you now already, seeing as we are busy doing it. So you up, you grab the hoop, bring it down in front of you, around, underneath, and over into a toss over your shoulder. So I will explain that a little bit further in more tutorials. I'm actually going to do a couple of tutorials on tosses. Tosses are one of my favorite things to do, so I will still get there, don't worry. So then from a vortex, for example, you can lift it up. See, I generally don't use that hand. Take it in either direction. repeat it off your body like that. And it takes you into a side weave. So let's try that one again. Lift it up. Stop it, change direction, bring it forward, backwards, into a weave. And that's the basics of weaving. Oh wait, there was one more, around the body. So, it's just not a looping session if you don't drop your hoop at least twice. So you're going around your body, and then you can go into your helicopter type of move, and then it goes straight into your weave. And your weave can turn into mandalas, it can turn into escalators, it can turn into a whole variety of things. So we will be covering that in probably next week's tutorial. So thank you for joining me. I am wishing you the most magical, beautiful, sunshiny Sundays ever. It is Sunday when I'm busy filming this. And again, the most beautiful day. So thank you, Mother Gaia. And thank you all for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you.